All right, our media decided not to play. It's one of those days. Let me try again. Advanced. Let's do this.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as
Hello, Bonjour and Bonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, more especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Dr. Riel Nkunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from and what you hope to achieve from our podcast. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on how to overcome what's holding you back. How to overcome what's holding you back. So in Washington, D.C., we have Coach Michelle Jones. And in Denmark, we have Blue Lindgren. And in Oregon, we have Alicia Kelson. In Michigan, we have Diane Anel. And in California, we have Jessica Siudu. I hope I didn't butcher your last name, Jessica. So at this moment, I'll just let our speakers to introduce themselves. You can go ahead, Coach Michelle.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Doctor, for having us on. It's a great, great day. My passion is helping God's women release their full potential so that they shine for His glory. And that's what I live, eat, sleep, breathe, and drink, because I know what God has done for me, and it just ignites me to ignite somebody else's stick. That what He's done for me, He'll do it for you, because He's no respecter of persons. And I encourage every woman who's under the sound of our voices today, get your pen, get your notepad, because God has a message just for you that's going to change your life and take you to your next level, because He wants you to shine for His glory, shine for His glory. And we'll talk more about that.
Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Coach MJ, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. You can go ahead, Blue, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, yes, I'm Blue. I'm living in Denmark. I'm a huge fan of personal development, and as I am studying Bob Proctor, Hill, Nightingale, and Napoleon Hill. And I'm studying that every day, because I know that if you want to reach new heights, you have to start from the inside. My vision in this world is to make life easier for all of you and for me too. And also introduce that we are going to have flowering trees in every garden all over the world. That is my big, big vision. And I would like you, of course, to see nature in another way and to use nature, because it has so much to offer, more than just looking at it. So this is my goal for today, that is to make your eyes open to a new way to look at nature and use it in a powerful way and make life easier, because that's what we all want.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Blue. And I call you an inspiration, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message. Thank you for being with us. You can go ahead, Alicia, and please introduce yourself.
Hi, yes, I'm Alicia. I'm from Oregon. I am a non-diet lifestyle coach for women, and really the heartbeat is to help women experience freedom around food, around their scale, but also, and probably more importantly, in their life. Much like Coach MJ said, to really help women shine the light that was put inside of them to really step into being who they were created to be and do the work that they were created to do, without the baggage of not feeling good enough because of what the scale says or what their body says, but really walk, or what their body looks like, but really being able to walk in just in freedom and really just embrace being who they are, who they were made to be, and working on their relationship to themselves is one of those foundations that just flows into the rest of their lives. So I'm excited to be here, excited to share some of the stuff that God has really been revealing to me, and that work that He's been doing in me, and that I get to go and help other women with as well. So thank you.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Alicia. And really, women, oh my goodness, they're going to benefit a lot from here, because everyone is all about women, this, women, this. So thank you so much, Alicia, for being with us. You can go ahead, Diana, and introduce yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Diana Neal, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm a wife and a mother. I call myself a mama bear to a 15-year-old son who's much bigger than me now. A 2-year-old daughter, we call her our firecracker or fireball, and also a 7-month-old little girl. So we're in very different seasons of life, along with ministry and businesses, and we need the strength of Jesus every day. Besides that, 3 most important things to me are: 1, just living a life surrendered to Christ. Secondly, living authentically. I'll be talking about that somewhat today. just really showing up as me, you know, not being anything else, not wearing a mask, you know, not putting up a false representative, but really living truly who I am. And last but not least, taking courage in everything that I do. And that's truly my message today.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's such a great honor to have you, Diana, on this platform. And hold on, is there one in your bio that you have an additional member coming up? Is he already here? Is
She
or-
is. Yeah,
Okay,
she is
okay,
here.
Okay, all
So I
right.
probably didn't update my bio.
Yeah, I was like 7
Now
months.
here.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations. Okay, you can go ahead, Jessica, and introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today. Thank you so much, Dr. Rokanini, for having me here. I'm one of those people that just has a lot of fun. I tell you guys, my family is quite large, but not really quite large. I have 4 children, one that's in college, one that's in high school, a senior, and then I have 2-year-old twins. So that's why I'm saying that kind of started over. So one of the biggest things about me that you'll find is that I'm somebody who really wants you to dream big. You know, I'm someone who really pushes women to live out their purpose. My special calling is really to help you carry out what that divine purpose is through building a coaching and consulting business that brings you true joy and fulfillment every day. And that's something that I just love doing because it's helped me overcome my fears and really pour into others so that they can do what they're called to do, you know, because what God says we should do, we should be doing it, right? And it should be something fun and that you shouldn't have to hold back from. So I'm happy to be here and share that with you guys today.
Oh wow, Jessica, it's such a great honor to have you on this platform. Really, you've been a busy mom, but at least now it's coming to an end, I believe. I believe. And so thank you for saying yes, and I'm looking forward to hear more of your message.
Thank you.
So, Coach MJ, I have a question for you. If you happen to have your own billboard, I can see your billboard coming down there in the busy highway in Washington, D.C. What will your billboard say?
It would definitely say, God is faithful even when you're faithless. Because that's my story.
Wow. God is faithful.
We don't believe. He's
Yeah.
faithful even when you are faithless. In whatever season you're in, God is still right there with us. That's my billboard.
He's a faithful Father. He's a faithful God.
Faithful.
And today it's all about him. Anyways, the whole weekend, it's all about him. Wow,
Amen.
wow. I love it. I love it. How about you? Let me see. How about you, Blue? Maybe your billboard is already down there in the busy highway in Denmark. What would it say?
Oh, what would it say? That's a hard one. Yeah, it would say that we are here to grow and to develop, and you have to do that the whole life. If you do the same the whole life, you are not living, you are just existing. So what really is very important is like live, grow, and hit the terror barrier every now and then. It's healthy.
Wow, wow. I love it. I love it. Of course, you will never go anywhere if you don't grow. You'll have to keep on, like I always say that, fill your cup first. And then from the overflow, that's where you can share with the world. So you cannot grow if you are not filling your cup. I love it. I love it, Blue. And yeah, it's, I'm looking forward to hear more of your story. I'm just going to hold on to it right now. How about you, Alicia? What will your billboard say if you happen to have your own billboard?
So it's the screensaver on my computer, and it says that your body is a vessel for you to carry out the work that you were created to do. So it really is just, it's not glorifying or idolizing our bodies or beating our bodies up, but just recognizing that the physical body that we have is just that container for all of that greatness, all of that good stuff that God has put in us to be able to pour out, like you were saying, into the world, into the lives of those around us. So yeah, just remember that your body is simply a vessel for you to carry out the work that you're called to do.
Oh, wow. You've just reminded me of this song, Make Me a Vessel, Make Me an Offering, Make Me whatever you want to make me to be. Wow, I love it. My body is a vessel. It's a vessel of hope, a vessel of whatsoever you put in there. I love it. I love it. How about you, Diane? What will your billboard say? Maybe it's already down there. I don't know. Is it going to be in Canada? Is it going to be in Michigan? I don't know.
My billboard would say, choose courage, not comfort. And that's really a life motto for me. You know, we all come up against those choices, whether we're going to stay comfortable right where we're at, or if we're going to take risk and take courage and move forward. So.
Wow, take courage. I know your business is all about courage, if I'm not mistaken. It's all about courage. So take courage in everything. I love it. I love it. So how about you, Jessica? What will your billboard say?
Well, I would have to say it's never too late to dream big. And I say that because a lot of times in life, we go through so many different things, or maybe something has caused us to give up or maybe forget about our dreams. So I would say to remind everyone, it's never too late to do that. You can always do it at any time.
Wow, it's never too late. It's never too late to actually take the first baby step in the right direction. It's never too late. I love it. I love it. So I believe my billboard will be the 6th billboard driving down the highway, and it's going to say what? The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. And it's definitely coming. It's definitely coming. So we're going to get started with Coach MJ. So Michelle R. Jones, she helps busy Christian women detangle overwhelming thoughts, dismantle self-limiting beliefs, and demolish fear of failure with proven tools to plan, publish, and confidently communicate their God-given message via business, nonprofits, as well as books. She is fondly known as a spiritual gemologist. Yes, I'll have to check with my dictionary, gemologist, to help you clear out the rubble of the past, to discover the brilliant God-given greatness within, so you shine as a radiant gem for God's glory. She will help you find a clear path to fulfill your God-given dream of authorship or launching a nonprofit or ministry from your life story. So Michelle R. Jones helps kingdom-minded women like you, like ourselves here, overcome negative thoughts so they can fulfill their God-given dream to write and launch their ministries. She is saying that ignoring a problem never makes it go away. It only makes things worse and ultimately harder to solve. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Michelle Jones.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here, and we are crunched for time, so I'm just going to jump right into it, okay? So my passion, as I shared earlier, is helping God's women discover the greatness within. And I want everybody who's listening under the sound of my voice right now to put into the chat, put into the dialogue, I am a gem, G-E-M. What does that stand for? That you are God's exclusive masterpiece. That's right, you're a gem, God's exclusive masterpiece. So it doesn't matter how you feel, that's the truth of the matter, okay? Has nothing to do with our feelings. It's what God has already deposited within you. Because he said, we have this treasure within a hidden vessel, and the excellencies of the power of God are not of us. So every one of these beautiful sisters here, and you who I'm looking at and speaking to, and you can hear me, God has hidden a magnificent treasure inside of you. But here I'm going to talk about, well, how do you feel? What do you do when you feel stuck? Okay, God, yeah, I have this brilliant treasure inside of me. I'm supposed to shine. And I have this here. You can see this here. One of my beautiful pens that I love to give out to women who graduate from my program. But God has called you to shine, but you don't feel like you're shining right now because life just has you feeling stuck. You feel like, hey, God, my life's in a setback. But I want to tell somebody right now, if you feel like you're stuck and in a setback, it's really a divine setup for God to rise you up. Okay, so don't be discouraged. We're going to wipe that out today. Why? Because I know that feeling. Sitting in my office now, 5 years ago, it was in the 17th year of our nonprofit. And I said, God, I can't see any further to help the organization. I cannot see any further. And God had taken me out of the corporate world to, God will take your biggest mess and he will put it on a billboard to help other people. And God had healed me from an emotionally abusive marriage. We were leaders in the church. And my other half just decided to walk away from God, walk away from everything. And God said, Michelle, what will you do? And it was a struggle for 18 months. I was angry at God. I was angry with everybody. I was angry at my pastors. I was angry at my prayer partners. I was angry at my friends. I was angry at my parents. How did you all let this wolf in sheep's clothing get in to almost deceive me all these years? But God, he reached down, he healed my heart when I humbled myself. And he said, daughter, I've healed you. Now go tell my goodness. And he wiped the stains off of my face, did all of that. And I said, Lord, and he said, now I've launched you out and you're going to start this nonprofit to help other women the way I've helped you, encourage them. So in the 17th year of that journey, now 17 years later of helping women from all around the world, the joy and honor, only God could see that in the midst of my pain, I find myself crying again in a pit. God, what is going on? This is too hard. I can't help anybody else. I can't help another woman from Egypt or Ireland or Germany or the USA. I can't see where we're going, God. I'm stuck. I'm just stuck. I want to go back to fishing like Peter. I want to go back to the corporate world. This is just too much. And God said, shh, hold on. So I'm going to share with you some of the nuggets that you can use when you feel stuck, and those seasons will come. They're not a one and done. Somebody write it down. Reality check, it's not a one and done. But I'm going to give you the nuggets of what to do and how to unlock it when you feel stuck so that you can rise up to your next level that God has for you, okay? And it's gonna help you break through, because by using these keys, it helped me lose 30 pounds that I put on with the depression. It helped me fight suicidal thoughts. It saved me from suicide as God was saving me from driving off of a bridge in Washington, D.C. from that season of pain and anguish. It stopped me from short-circuiting God's plan for my life when I said, God, I can't do anything more for this 501c3. I'm done. I'm going back. God said, no, you're not. So these nuggets I'm going to share with you, they're going to help improve your mind. They're going to open up your heart. They're going to reconnect you to God. But most of all, it's going to put you back on the path to where you need to go. So I want to share some data here with you. There's data from the Global Dreams Index survey. And that's one of my passions, is helping women from being just dreaming about something to doing it. Just because you feel stuck, the enemy is going to try and keep you right there. So it just becomes a dream that you don't do anything. He wants to take you from being a dreamer to a doer. But the data from the Global Dreams Index survey shows that over half of the world's women's population have given up on their dreams. It's a heartbreaker. Because, and as a result, they have unsatisfied lives. If you're feeling dissatisfied, I can tell you right now, it's because you're not connected to the dream that God has for you. And you're probably feeling stuck of how to get into that dream and activate it. But we're going to talk about that today. It also shares that chasing a dream often means a lot of sacrifices are needed to realize a dream, which is true, which often includes more energy, competencies, economic resources, and support. However, the same is necessary for men. So why don't they stop dreaming at the same rate as women? Question. Many women are being told to stay realistic, stop dreaming, and get their heads out of the clouds. Play it safe, don't take chances. Has anybody ever heard that? Or, oh, I'm waiting on God. No, God's waiting on you. As a result, the challenges of achieving her dreams can appear so difficult and unrealistic that they start to become less ambitious, adventurous, and even temper down believing. So the three key areas where women get stuck, they feel they lack support. Number one, they feel that they lack the resources, the capital, the resources, the know-how, and then they lack the confidence. So I'm going to give you three nuggets that's going to help dispel that, okay? First one is you need to get clear, get some clarity. You need to get some mental clarity, and that's going to help you dismantle the disbelief, the negative thoughts, and the voices that have been trying to pull you back in the past instead of taking you forward to where God wants to launch you. Okay, so I tell women, you need to write those things down, give them a voice, write them down on paper. I call them isms. When you can call those things out, they begin to no longer have that same power over you. Okay, I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too green, I'm too blue, I'm too soft, I'm too loud. Whatever the two is, write it down, bring it into the light. You're going to gain some clarity, okay, over what God wants to overcome in you. Okay, greater is he who's in you than he who's in the world and in your head and in your ears. Number two, you want to begin to objectively assess your inventory. Do you know that God's put gifts, talents, and abilities in each one of us? And only you can do what God made you to do. There's no other clone on the face of the earth. God's given you unique DNA. God's given you, and I actually walk through this with women and they say, oh my God, I never knew that. I never knew that. There's 11 different ways that God has uniquely said there's only you. If your house were to blow up today, we'd know that you were still in there, that DNA, you're there, okay? Do you know even your butt, that's right, I'm talking to ladies, your buttocks is unique. Nobody else has your bottom, sister. So you need to be proud of that. Let it swing in the wind. God made it unique and distinct for his glory. That's one of the ways, but you need to take an inventory of that, and that's going to help you unleash your power. And the third one is to get a revelation that you're not alone. The enemy will always get in your head, you're the only one, it's just you. I want here today to shine the light that that is a lie, that's a deception, that is not coming from God. He is with you, he is for you, he is in you. It's Christ in you, the hope of glory. And God has made you to shine. And so as you call upon God, he will help you. He will walk you through. So what I want to do in my remaining time together, because again, it's so short and I can't pour 30 years of info here in 7 minutes, but I'm trying to hit the hot spots with you, is I really want to encourage you, go to mygemgift.com. You can put it in there, www.mygemgift.com. And there I want to give everyone here under the sound of my voice a gift to help you get unstuck. I'm going to send you my Dreampreneur's Guide. It's a #1 resource that women have used around the world to get them unstuck. It's helped them declutter the thoughts that are here. It's helped to show them where they are unique and distinct in God's plan, no other one like you. It's given them a roadmap to move forward, and it's helped them get an inventory of the resources that God's already placed in your hand. Like he said to Moses, why are you crying to me? Use what I put in your hand. So I want to send that to you. And I also want to add in a bonus gift with that. So if you just put in there that we met today through Rise Up, we're going to send this to you too. It's called Detox for the Soul. Detox for your soul. Everybody detoxes the body, but do you know how to detox your soul so that you can reconnect to your Heavenly Father and hear clearly from him and act upon that? So what does that mean? It's going to give you practical tools, a roadmap, get you back on track, get you unstuck, so that you can truly rise up to what God's placed inside of you. So that's my heart and my passion. And I know if God's done that for me in my deepest, darkest hours, he will do that for you. He's no respecter of persons, and he's used my story to write books, being on radio, television, so forth, around the world with a testimony when I was down and out, stuck, but it was God really using it as a setup to rise up, to share his goodness with others. So God bless you, sisters. Grab it today. Wow. Get unstuck. Thank you.
My
Thank
goodness.
you,
Coach Michelle, just drop the mic. Just drop the mic. You know, you've just nailed it. You've mentioned that most women, they think that they lack support. They don't have the resources and they don't have confidence. But on the other flip side of it, you've said that we'll have to gain clarity. We'll have to get clear about whatsoever we're doing. We'll have to write it down, and we'll have to objectively assess our inventories. And we also have to understand that we are not alone. God is with us. I know sometimes we might not see the way, but it doesn't. I think it was Nick who said that you might not see the way right now, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. And I believe that someone bigger than myself is leading when I can't see a way. Thank you so much, Coach MJ. I really appreciate your message. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you.
So now from Washington, D.C., let's fly over to Denmark. Let's explore Europe for quite some time. So we have Blue Lynn Lindgren. I always push her last name, I don't know. So Blue Lindgren is a huge admirer and a student of Bob Proctor's teachings. Her studies with Bob Proctor and his consultants have shown her how important it is to be reminded daily to work and move towards her goals. This is her inspiration for redesigning the stick person with the text, "Make up your mind." Blue is an author, she's a web developer, a makeup artist, a jewelry designer, a certified dietitian specializing in behavioral design and nudging. She uses her creativity to inspire others and to help them stay on their true path. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Blue Lindgren.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. It's amazing. I've been really looking forward to talk to you today about what is holding your back, not your back, but what is holding your back. And, you know, actually, the biggest things that hold people back, including myself, is fear. Fear turns into procrastination. I will do that tomorrow, or maybe I don't have to do it today, or I can do it when I have more time. And it just holding you back, you don't get anywhere. Do you know that about 95% of the population is not living, they are existing? That's a huge difference. When you are living, you are growing, you are experiencing, you are, of course, meeting obstacles on your way, because the obstacles are going to help you grow into the new person. And we are all meant to grow into new person all life. It's a lot of old people that when they die, it's not like they have like been dead for a long time. It's just like a piece of paper and now you are dead, because they're not living. So we know that the biggest holdback is fear and procrastination. And then we also have some programming. And that programming is put into us when we were toddlers and young kids up to 6 to 10 years old. People around us have been programming our brain, and we were not evolved enough to take care and use our mind to say, no, I don't believe that, or that is not true. So we are not, as a small kids, we are not able to take away the not good things for us. So the programming that you have got as a child was not your responsibility. It was put into you by parents, guards, school, other people that you met. But now that you are an adult, you are definitely responsible for changing that. Change the programming that is not doing you any good. Changing the programming which for you as an adult is ruining your everyday. And let me take some examples, like people are telling you money is evil, much money is very evil, you shouldn't do that, or you can't do that, or who do you think you are? All of these things that people put into your head, they are there when you are going to act. And the only way that you are going to grow is by application of new thoughts, new mindsets, new attitude. Because your attitude is a composite of your thinking, your feelings, and your actions. You don't get anywhere by saying, I would love to have a new house. I would love to have a new house. But there's no action or feeling behind it. You will not get that new house. So what can we do when the fear is showing its ugly face? You can start by giving it a name, not a name of something that is scary or ugly or something, but give it a name that makes you laugh. So, ugly toddler, go away, like something like that. and say that when that phase is coming up. But what is most important about moving through fear and do the things is to change your perception of the thing. I heard before that you were saying that things have many sides. So when you have a feeling of something that you don't like, or you are afraid, or something that is not good for you, write it down like Michelle said. Put it in the middle of the table. Go on one side and say, okay, what does that mean? Put that down. Go to the next side. What other things could this mean? So that your perception changes. I can give an example. I was giving a task, asking people how they looked at me when I was working. And one of the my friends that was going to tell me that, she says, you are very structured. And I kind of, my jaw dropped down, because for me, structured is very boring and something that I don't like to work with. So I just had to say, okay, many people actually tell I'm structured. So maybe my perception of structured is wrong. So I went to her and I said, what is it for you? When you say I'm structured, what exactly do you see in what I'm doing that is structured? And she told me, and I was again dropping, because that was not my perception of structured. So right there, at that moment, I changed my perception. And now when I need to talk to other people about my work, I can say I am very structured and be happy about it. So it's just turn it around and see it from another side. You have perception, use it. Now, when you are in a very scary moment, it can be that you maybe are going on stage talking to people. Maybe you are going to be on a new job. It can be you're taking the decision and it's big. What you want is to be calm and relaxed in that moment. Because when you want to get rid of fear, the best thing is to be calm. And I believe in my heart that nature can help you with just that. Have you ever touched a tree, feeling this grounding, soft, calm vibration from a tree? I have a huge garden and I love trees. I want flowering trees in every garden. But actually, nature, if you take a walk, try to touch a tree, and even different trees don't have the same vibration. So you have to find your tree. And when you touch that tree, it will kind of call to you, and you will actually feel really this relaxed calmness coming into you. You will have to visit that tree time and time again and internalize that calm vibration into your body and feel it. And when you have done that time and time again, you can find a trigger and you can get in touch with that tree, even you are miles away. Just using your mind, putting it into you. Your trigger can be many things. For me, this is a trigger. And then you can just get the feeling. And when you are calm and relaxed, you will see that fear turn very, very small and easy to overcome. So this is a way to stop this being stopped. Find a way to find your inner calmness, because it's there your power is. It's there where you get the feelings and the power to get ahead of that fear.
Wow.
But it will be different from person to person, of course. I think that was my 7 minutes, was it?
Yes. That was your 7 minutes, and really you've shared more nuggets on how you can actually overcome all these fears. I know fear to me, it was something that was holding me back way then. And I know for sure there are many, many different strategies. The way you are mentioning right now on how you can actually overcome fear, you mentioned that, I was just laughing when you say, just give that fear name. a name that will make you laugh, an ugly name. I'm like, okay, I could have done that before. I could have done that. And you've mentioned that we also have to change our perception. I know I love Bob Proctor. I'm a student of him. So I know him around the mindset. Change your mindset, cultivate your mindset. So yeah, you'll have to change your perception in order for you to be able to overcome whatsoever is holding you back. Really, and the way you've brought nature through this, on how actually you can connect with nature, it's really amazing on how it can transform one person to the next. Thank you so much, Blue, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you. So now we're coming back to the US. We're coming back to the US where we have Alicia Carlson. Alicia Carlson is a non-diet lifestyle coach and the founder of the Strong Hair Way. She works with women using her non-diet approach to food, fitness, and life transformation to help her clients create a healthy and balanced life without dieting, deprivation, as well as restriction. So Alicia teaches women how to radically love themselves, their bodies, and their lives before they ever lose a pound by healing their relationship to food, exercise, their bodies, as well as themselves. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Alicia Carlson.
Hello, thank you again for having me. And like you kind of alluded to in my bio, that last little bit there, so much of the work that I do work particularly with women, but this will apply both to men and women, is really about working on your relationship to yourself. Of course, in the work that I do, we also work on your relationship to food, to exercise, to your body, to the number on the scale. But at the heartbeat of it, it really is the relationship that you have to and with yourself. Now, of course, aside from the relationship that you have with God and with Jesus, the relationship that you have to yourself, I believe, is the most important relationship in your life, because what you continually think and believe about yourself shapes the way that you show up in the world and into every other relationship that you have. I didn't realize this until just a few years ago, when so much of what I was doing in my own life was really fueled by a need to achieve, a need to kind of prove myself. It was really coming from this place of striving and trying to earn something. And as a daughter of God, as somebody who has been saved by the blood of Jesus, the realization that I don't have to strive to earn anything because it's already been given to me, that's already all deposited in me, has created so much ability to be a lot more relaxed, to walk in so much more freedom, because I'm no longer working to try to earn those things, but rather working from a place of already having all of those things that I was constantly wearing myself out for. And so one of the ways that I really like to work with my clients when it comes to their relationship to themselves, and this has already been kind of alluded to in the last two speakers, is really working on, what do you continually think and believe about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Now, for some of us, we're very aware and very we have that awareness of the conscious thoughts that we have about ourselves that most of the time are negative, those unintentional thoughts that we have about ourselves. But for most of us, we don't actually tune into the fact of what we are directly thinking about ourselves in the light of negative thinking. So a great way to kind of start to bring awareness to what you think about yourself is to really do brain dumps or thought downloads. Really just kind of grab a piece of paper. If you like to write, you can grab your phone if you're more of a verbal processor, and just start kind of telling the story that you have about you. So if you were a book, if your life was a book, what is the story that you are currently telling about you as the main character, about your life? Just really start to kind of shine the light on the overarching sort of subconscious automatic story that you have about yourself. And then I like to take my clients through an editing process, right? So it's like, once we have the story out of our heads, we can start to create a little bit of physical separation. Because when the story just is residing and continually playing inside of our heads, we're not really aware that those things are optional. Those thoughts that we have about ourselves are optional. And like Blue said, a lot of the things that we tend to think about ourselves or think about the world, think about our life is automatic at this point, because it's what we heard growing up. It's the messages that we received from the world or from those people in our lives that were most influential. So we have this tape that's kind of always running in the background automatically. So once we get it out on paper or we get it into a voice memo or something like that, we've now taken the story out of our head. We've created a little bit of physical separation. We can start to kind of question the story. We can start to poke holes in it. We can begin to edit the story, taking out the parts that we know are just flat out lies, questioning the things of, is this something that's really helping me show up in my life and in the world the way that I want to be, the way that I feel like I'm called to be showing up? Or is this something that is hindering me and keeping me stuck? From this place of editing the story, right? It's like, once we kind of start to pull out maybe some of the common themes that are not serving us, they're not allowing us to walk in our calling or walk fully in our purpose, we start to edit and question those things. Where did this come from? Why do I believe this? Why does this feel like it resonates with me? What could also be true? Or maybe like, what's the opposite thing of this? And if you're a person of faith, then we have the Bible. That is the ultimate objective truth about who we are, about what we've been given to do, the authority, the power that we have to walk in. We can really directly start to compare the things that we're currently thinking about ourselves, the way that we're showing up, with the truth, with the Word of God, and really start to use what He says about us, the truth that He says about us, to start to rewrite that story. So that third and final step of really working on your relationship is now rewriting the story. So once you have the story out of your head, you can start to kind of look through it and question it. Maybe you start, like, if you're like me, you start kind of reading some of these things that you've written about yourself, and you're like, this is like so funny, because I actually have a lot of evidence that is quite to the contrary of this. So we start to kind of edit that, question, really challenge those thoughts and those beliefs, and then we begin to rewrite the story, right? So what does the Word of God say about me? What do other people say about me that really do build the belief or help me kind of see myself in a different light than maybe I haven't been seeing myself? And I guess really the final step is to then live your life in that new relationship, right? So it's understanding that this is always going to be something that you're going back and forth with. It's not like you're one day going to get rid of all of the nasty negative thoughts. You're never going to feel negative about yourself again, but it's just being a better, I guess, watcher of when those thoughts come up, right? And really just remembering, hey, I don't have to believe this anymore about myself. And when I do believe this, when I do feel this way about myself, this is how I tend to show up in the world around me. So really starting to embrace and kind of embody those new thoughts, right? Really thinking about, how do you want to be showing up? Who do you want to be in your life? And then get to work every single day bringing that version of yourself or that vision of yourself from your mind's eye, and realizing that in your real life, recognizing that it's going to be a continual practice. You're not going to do it perfectly, and that's fine. But the more that you practice living your life intentionally, the way that you want to be showing up from having healed your relationship to yourself, the easier it's going to be to really live that. You'll start to see some of those old habits and patterns and tendencies before you act on it. And then you really have that moment where you get to choose intentionally. Is this kind of that coming from that old relationship, that broken, busted, dysfunctional relationship with myself? Or is this coming from kind of that healed relationship of seeing myself the way that God sees me? Having the truth about who I am, no longer listening to the lies or operating from that place, but then intentionally choosing how you want to be showing up in the world.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Alicia, oh, you've mentioned that I was just taking notes. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship. You can try to build out relationships out there, but you'll have to, the real relationship is the one with yourself. And then you can go out there and build solid relationships. You also mentioned that we'll have to understand our current relationship to ourselves and how it's also playing a role in creating our current results, both positive as well as negative. Wow, I was just taking notes, and you know what? I'll go back and watch this replay because you've shared more nuggets. Thank you so much, Alicia, for sharing such a profound, much needed message. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can see our audience online. Let me just read the comments right now. Let me read the comments. I can see Mariah Mbanga watching. Welcome, sis. I can see Mariah Cox. Oh, too many Mariahs today. Mariah Cox, she's also watching. Lori, she's watching. She's with us. And Dennis Perry, she said that I am a gem. I am a gem. And Mariah too, she said, I am a gem. I believe they were responding to Coach MJ. And Benoit is also watching. Annalie is watching. Stella is watching. And okay, Blue has already shared her link over them. And by the way, Coach MJ, I couldn't tag you because there were so many Michelle Jones, so I couldn't find your name. If you can just go on Rise to Greater Heights Network on Facebook and share your link as well. And Evelyn, she's saying that know who you are and be true to yourself, because if you don't, without discretion, you will be pulled in all kinds of directions. So you have to be true to yourself. You'll have to know exactly who you are. I believe our audience, really, they've been inspired so far. They've been motivated. And as we move to Diane, I'm gonna ask her, continue to our audience online, continue to share your comments, your questions on this platform, and then we're gonna attend to your questions at the end of the podcast. So now we are flying to Michigan. I don't know if you can fly to Michigan from Oregon, but I don't know. Yeah, so we have Diane Anil. Diane Anil is the founder of Take Courage Ministries. She believed in cultivating a prophetic culture along with empowering others to go after healing, growth, and supernatural strategy. Her goal is to encourage others to take courage through equipping, activating, and empowering people into their true identity in Christ and God-given purpose. Diane is the founder of Courageous Consulting and Coaching, where she serves her clients as a prophetic coach for their business, personal, as well as spiritual needs. She also offers inner healing and deliverance sessions. So Diane is an ordained minister. She holds a certificate of completion from 2 ministry schools, and she also obtained a bachelor's degree in communications and a minor in human resource development from Auckland University. Diane she has a passion for global missions, a heart for the nations, and have ministered in various capacities throughout the world. So Diane Anil is a pioneer, modern day prophet, teacher, preacher, and a writer. She is published as a prophet on Elijah List, Kingdom Winds, Spirit Fuel, and other credible platforms. She has a passion to guide people into freedom by helping them expose lies, gain further God's truth, break shame, and overcome fear. So Diane currently resides in Michigan with her loving husband, Krish, their son, daughter, and no longer a baby on the way, but the 7-month-old. So kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Diane Anil.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you today. And I just thank you for the opportunity to speak. So right now, God has me on 3 assignments in this season, besides being a wife and a mother, the most important assignments in my life. One is he called me to be a Deborah to Deborahs. Right now, I believe that God is raising up an army of powerful Deborahs on the earth, and he's given me an assignment to help those Deborahs overcome blocks and barriers and really take courage. The second assignment that he's called me to in this hour has really been this prophetic coaching. I went to school to get my master's in counseling. In the middle of that process, everything switched for me, and God said, I want to call you to prophetic coaching as well as ministry and whatnot, to really walk women through inner healing and deliverance. And so my story has been one of having to take courage. And so as I've been a prophetic coach, I've really been helping people, with inner healing and deliverance, take courage, because it takes courage to face our pain. And that's been a huge thing in that area as well that I've been helping women with, and some men too, but primarily women. And my last assignment for this season is really releasing prophetically to the body of Christ, and releasing supernatural strategy, as well as just really helping people be equipped in their prophetic gifting. Because I like to normalize the prophetic, and just tell people it's really about knowing the heart of God and releasing the heart of God to others. And so I've been taking courage in that way myself, but helping others take courage in hearing God for themselves and then giving that away to others. So diving right in, what is taking courage? It's intentionally grabbing hold of strength in order to face pain and grief. And, everyone that's on here and everyone watching, there's been some point in our life, and I've heard it from some of the speakers where, we have been faced with some type of pain or grief in our lives. And we could have allowed it to crush us, or we allow it to catapult us into what God has for our lives. And I believe there's two types of taking courage. There's the kind of courage that I call it survival courage. That, I know for me, part of my testimony is I had no choice but to take courage from a really young age. And so that was survival courage. It was fight or flight. It was that place of, okay, am I going to let this take me out, or am I going to let this catapult me? And as children, we don't have the coping skills. We don't know better. We just go right into survival. And I lived most of my life in survival until I began to heal in many different ways with Jesus and through different avenues, because I believe he works through many different ways to bring us that healing and that freedom. The second kind of courage I talk about, I call it soaring courage. And soaring courage to me is when, we've done the work, in a sense, the inner work. And, I always tell my clients, none of us arrive. We don't arrive at perfection. Like this journey of healing, it's forever. It's layer by layer. And so, this soaring courage, though, to me is where, we've done the work. We're at that place where we're feeling confident in Christ. We're feeling, freedom. But now we're at this place, like, we just want to know our purpose. We want to know, what's next? What's the Father calling us to? And it's this place of, okay, this is scary. Our dreams are big. I'm not sure, God's calling me to this. I'm getting prophetic words about this. This seems way too big for me. But we get to that place where we're like, well, you know what? I don't want to stay where I'm at now. I do want the things that I feel God's calling me to, but I'm stuck, or I have these blocks and I really don't know what to do with them. And we come to that place where we need to take courage and over comfort, or we need to take courage and look at it in the face and do it afraid. And so that's been a big motto for me, doing it afraid. And, I really believe I was going to talk about 2 blocks today that I believe are equally the biggest blocks in most people's lives. But Blue, you did a beautiful job talking about fear. And so I really want to hone in on shame, because I believe fear and shame are the 2 biggest blocks for people in getting to the place that God's called them to be, and their calling, their purpose, destiny, whatever you want to call it. And so I want to talk about shame today because shame was a huge part of my story. I lived my life wearing a mask. I lived my life in a place of putting up a false representative. And why? Because I had so much shame all the way from childhood into my, my teen years and then young adult years. And I was very hidden. Then I got into church, and it was more of a religious structure type church. And so I'm looking around, nobody's really being real. And I'm like, wow, all these people are perfect. I think I felt more comfortable out there in the world where people were real and a bit messy. This now doesn't feel right. And it wasn't until God really removed me from religion and put me into this place of, I had an encounter with the Father's love. It completely wrecked me, changed me. I just was a mess for a year in a good way. And he took me out of this place of shame and set me free radically. And I knew at that point, God was calling me to break shame through only his power in other people's lives, and also to help them break fear and whatever else comes up. But because shame and fear, they isolate us, they silence us, and they keep us stuck. And so, shame, if you don't know much about it, I'll quickly say this. God told me shame takes the brutally honest truth, it twists it, and then it sucks the life out of you. I'm like, okay, Lord, what does this mean? And he's like, shame will identify what you've done, whether it's a failure, a mistake, something, that you're not proud of, but then it twists it. And I believe it's the enemy doing the twisting and the accusation. And it says things like, yeah, you failed there, you're a failure. You made a mistake there, you are a mistake. And after time, we believe those things, and it begins to suck the life right out of us. And so that is how the Lord really started to show me about shame, because shame is really a painful feeling of humiliation or embarrassment. It's that thing where we're like, oh, if they only knew, they wouldn't accept me, they'd reject me. And so it puts us into that place of maybe putting up a mask. And a lot of people don't even know that they're actually in shame. And it's been amazing. Like in sessions, I've seen people get set free from shame, and then they immediately have some type of even physical healing that was attached to that shame that they had been in, that God exposes and heals right there and really sets this person free. It's been incredible, but we have to be able to identify it. So I'm going to give you 3 quick keys to breaking shame. I believe this applies to fear as well. And these are ways that we can take courage in the process. So the first one is vulnerability. And so I never liked the word vulnerability. I thought it was weakness. I would have never wanted to be known as a vulnerable or authentic type person. That was a word for vulnerability is like nakedness, right? And it's really risky and it's really scary. Brene Brown says that it's the greatest measure of courage. And I believe that, because we're fully showing up and we're putting ourselves out there to either be accepted or to be rejected, right? But God took me through this process of vulnerability. with a group of people during my master's program, and they were all strangers, and I was put into this group for 3 days in a row. And I received this deep healing that I had never received with just the Lord and I, or counseling, inner healing, deliverance that I personally went through. And I sat in a group with people and shared the deepest parts of myself that I had never shared with anyone. And I got freedom. So I believe that's a key. We need to get vulnerable and honest with ourselves, with God, but also finding that safe tribe where we can really be real. We can show up, we can bring the messy and beautiful parts of ourselves, and at the same time, get that full acceptance, validation, and love. I walk women through group coaching all the time, and they're strangers, and they're just loving one another, empowering one another, just bearing all with one another. And they come out like, I didn't know we were going to do that, but I'm so glad that we did, because I'm experiencing the freedom from that. The second key to this is really, I call this the beautiful exchange. And I don't have the time to get too deep into this, but for me, the beautiful exchange is with the Father. It's choosing to identify the shame. I actually, Blue, you were saying something similar to this, but I always say, name that face of shame, because oftentimes caretakers or parents or people in our life, they've said things that brought shame. Even people will say, I'm ashamed of you, right? Those words are painful, or even a look or whatever it may be. And we as children, or even adults, if you don't know your identity in Christ, you don't know the truth, we just grab hold of that stuff and begin to believe those lies about ourselves. So the beautiful exchange looks like, I'm going to identify where the stuff came in, where these lies came in, and I'm going to come out of agreement with it. I'm going to take my authority, like Alicia said, I'm going to take my authority, I'm going to break agreement with it. Not only in my mind am I going to make a choice, but with my words, I'm going to begin to take authority over these things. I'm going to begin to come out of agreement with these things. And then I am going to ask the Father for his truth. And for some of you listening, you might be like, I don't even know how to hear God's voice. And I just encourage you, there are coaches out there. There are people, there are ministers, there's many women that can help you, and men, if you're a man watching, that can help you really connect to the Father in that way, because he knows it all and he has the truth that will truly set us free. So it's that exchange, giving him the stuff, forgiving where we need to forgive, and then getting the identity, getting the truth from him. And last but not least, and I need to close with this, is supernatural strategy. And I always say this, in my own wisdom, I can help a client, but when I bring God into it prophetically, listen to his heart, and really connect with God and release what he's saying, that's when I see the true transformation. And so I encourage each one of you, show up, practice vulnerability. Like I said, practice that beautiful exchange, and ask God for a supernatural strategy that will set you free in that area. And I believe you will be blessed, and you will be healed in many ways.
Wow, Diane, it's only the truth alone that will set all of us free. You've mentioned the different kinds of courage. I like the soaring one, because I see myself like, with the sky, no longer the limit. I can always soar higher and higher like an eagle. You've mentioned that we'll have to break shame through vulnerability, and we'll also have to take courage in Christ Jesus, for him to launch whatsoever he has began in our lives. And when you got started, you mentioned that God has called you to be one of the, oh, you're actually the Deborah for the Deborahs. And I'm like, yes, that's me. That's me. That's me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Diane. Really, your message was profound, and the way you've kind of labeled on how we can actually overcome shame, because shame comes from the enemy.
Yeah.
Shame keeps on reminding you on your failures. Yet
Yeah.
you are a pioneer. You are no longer a prisoner of your past, but you are a pioneer of your future. Wow, wow, what a profound message. I will go back and rewatch and watch over and over again. Thank you so much, Diane.
Thank you.
So now we are going to the sunny California, where we have Jessica Sidu. Jessica Sidu is the founder of the Faith-Based Real Estate Coaching Group. She is a faith-based business and life purpose coach who teaches women in service-based businesses how to monetize their kingdom gifts and build a profitable coaching business that is true to who they are, so they can make a difference and impact other people's lives. She has a 20 plus years of financial background that allowed her to assist buyers, sellers, investors, and more with their financial needs, which is what fostered her for the love of the real estate industry. She is a wife, a mother of 2 girls and twin boys whose age range from 1.5 to 22 years old. Wow. And now I'm trying to guess your age. She was blessed by God with the opportunity to coach over 100 service-based business professionals that were both men and women, or women and men. Okay, women and men, some millionaires and some who were on their way there. So on a normal day, you'll find her watching MMA with her husband, on a prayer call, on FaceTime with her girls, chatting about life, or just watching CoComelon with her twin boys. So kings and queens, please join me and welcome Jessica Sidu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Rilkenny. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. And I'll say that for those of you that are listening to this, I want you to really think about how many of you can relate to believing in anything that your mama told you when you were young, right? Well, there was this one thing that my mom taught me about, and it stuck with me. And that was the power of faith. You know, I really didn't know, honestly, you know, until recently what the power of faith truly meant, or, you know, what it could do for me in my life. And that's what I'm here to share with you today. Okay. Well, when I was younger, I used to think that, you know, faith was just something only religious people could have, or, you know, could possess, right? If they knew the Lord. Well, as I began to dig deeper into what faith actually was and looking it up, actually, I found that what it means is complete trust, right? That confidence in something or someone. And then when you dig deeper and you look into the word, and I looked it up there, in the word of God in Hebrews 11:1, it says, now faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen, right? Well, when I looked at the both of these definitions, I realized that with God not physically being present, right? And we don't see him, but when we put the hope and the trust in him, that's what activates our faith, y'all. You know, I began to think about this and it just fired me up. You see, my mom, she used to play this song when I was younger. And let me tell you guys, she used to play it over and over and over again. And that song was called Think Big, right? And in it was this little girl, you know, she used to say, why should any thought be small? You know, I'm sure many of you can relate to, you know, having dreams, having big dreams, and then thinking big, right? But one day you found yourself discouraged or, you know, doubtful, or maybe even lost, right? Well, your thoughts just weren't big. That's the whole point that was happening, if that is something you can relate to. And that actually was me a little over 10 years ago. I wasn't thinking big. You know, I really wasn't seeing my dreams coming true. a lot of things just really weren't going quite well in my life at the time. And what I would like to say is that many would probably say to me, oh, Jessica, maybe you were feeling that way because you were going through a divorce at the time. Well, I can tell you that in the past, even prior to that, I had dreams. I dreamed of learning a foreign language and becoming a sign language interpreter, but my thoughts and my capabilities, thoughts of how I couldn't do it stood in the way of those dreams, and they pretty much crashed and burned. So you see, I didn't believe in myself back then. And somewhere along the line, I had lost hope. The one thing my mom instilled in me when I was young, but the beautiful thing is the power of God. Learning the power of faith, that's what helped me realize the true importance and the value of what my mom was saying when she spoke those words over me, to think big and to remember that no thought should be small. You see, now that despite the hardships, even that my mom had faced, I can realize that the power of faith is what allowed her to continue to pour into us as kids and to think big, right? That's what allowed her to witness the power of faith perform in us, and just watching us dream and really think about what we could do in our lives, and that it could actually be possible if we had faith in the Lord. Well, I want you to know that we all face adversity, right? We're all going to face it down the line. But if you think big and dream even bigger, gosh, your faith will stand strong. And what I realize is that after all these years, it was the absence of hope and trust in someone or something that caused me to lose my faith. That's what stopped me from dreaming and dreaming big and thinking big. Okay. I had to learn to really be a kid again, right? And humble myself and tell the truth about what was truly missing and going on in my life. Gosh, you see, in one day, I've shared with you what took me nearly a decade to discover, and that's the power of faith. And without hope, guys, there's no faith. Always remember that it's your hope, it's your trust in God and thinking big and dreaming bigger that activates your faith, right? I want you to know that hope and trust, that's the key. That's the key. That will start helping you dream big again. That will help you pray again and believing with conviction again, right? The power of faith will be activated if you can remember to think of it in this way and carry that out in your lives. On the other side of that, y'all, I want you to know that even though I went through that harsh time, right, where I really wasn't believing and really, well, things just weren't happening for me, I decided to really believe and have that faith. And then I stopped silencing my voice. I started thinking big about things again. I really wanted to do, right? I thought about the places that I wanted to go, and I started trusting in God to help me do them. And y'all, when I began to do that, opportunities I never could dream of, they all started to come. I started speaking in front of thousands of people, places where many there who had so many accolades and years of experience. And guys, I only had just a couple years under my belt, but I'll tell you, the power of faith can open so many doors. Like others have said today, it can catapult you forward. And I can tell you this, just like the basket of food that Jesus stretched when the disciples thought based on what they saw wasn't enough, he made it more than enough, right? That's the kind of God we serve. So today, I want to challenge you to do these three things. The first, I want you to ask yourself, have I lost hope? Think about it. Have you stopped trying? Have you given up? Have you stopped believing? The second, I want you to start praying with complete trust and conviction. Remember, faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not seen, right? So you see that trusting in God is how we please him. And furthermore, the third thing is to start thinking big and then dream even bigger. My hope for you today is that, like me, you'll never let anything hold you back. No matter the circumstance, trust and know the power of faith, that it can get you anywhere in anything. And the other thing I want you to know is that when you are seeing what isn't actually there yet, right? And believing it would, and it comes to fruition, my friend, that's the power of faith. I want you to remember as well that we all have gifts. And the wonderful thing that the Lord showed me is that it's our God-inspired fruitful talent. That's the one thing that's going to carry us through. The power of faith is going to catapult you forward and allow those gifts to blossom and bloom wherever you're planted. I want to thank you, and God bless you for just listening and let me share this message with you. And if any of this you found valuable or you feel like it spoke to you, I want to invite you to what I like to call a purpose call. It's where I'm able to really dive deep with you, talk to you more about what your kingdom purpose is, what are your gifts, and how we can unlock those, right? And if you know that you're somebody who has that gift of genius in you, but it hasn't been unlocked yet, and you really want to see that so you can catapult forward, I want you to reach out to me. I'll make sure to post that link on the business page so you can have it. And we'll talk through this together so we can unlock your divine purpose and you can live that out today. Thank you.
Jessica, oh my goodness, just drop the mic. You know, as you keep on touching base on faith, and Hebrews 11 is my everyday chapter. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. You see, we believe because we haven't seen. If we have seen, we could have not believed it, because right now we believe that someone bigger than ourselves is leading, someone bigger than ourselves is making a way for us. Wow,
Yes.
what a profound message around the power of faith and the way you've just nailed it. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Jessica, for such a profound, much needed message. Thank you. You know, I can see our audience online really today, they are just on fire. They are on fire. I can see, Alicia is saying that's such a good definition of shame. She was referring it to Diane's message. And I can see Princess Sebe watching. She's saying faith, faith, faith. And yes, our audience really, they've been moved, they've been inspired. And that Dennis Perry saying that thank you for sharing. And Jolie saying that's so glad to happen upon this. So our audience really, they've been inspired by all these amazing messages. So thank you so much, amazing speakers, for such a profound, much needed message for a season, for to actually overcome what's holding each and every individual back. So it's not going to be a show without me showing up. So I'm going to be the next and final speaker. But before I speak, let me kind of share my bio. Hopefully it's going to play, and then I will come back and speak. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. Really, my goal as a mentor or as a coach is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to pursue success and drive sustainable. I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. Mom. So I think whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Dr. Riel and Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights.
Dr. Nampumelelo Rial Kunene is an international human rights policy analyst who consults on policies and procedures related to human rights compliance. She is a highly sought-after, energetic, certified Lace Brown international speaker. This passionate leader holds a PhD with a discipline in leadership and business. Dr. Rial N. Kunene is the author and host to Rise to Greater Heights, a book and YouTube channel to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. She is also a coach, mentor, and an MC. well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. Her vision is not only to motivate, but also to empower audiences with a fresh perspective inspiration they require to pursue success and drive sustainable outcomes. In a seriously funny way, Dr. Kunene is an award-winning author, 10 times #1 Amazon and international best-selling author. Her #1 best-selling book, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As a trainer, diplomacy protocol officer, and strategist, Rial believes that we are in full control of our choices. Her mission is to meet the needs and transform lives of her clients and her audience. She is also a true advocate for creating new policies that uphold human rights and prevent human rights violations. Dr. Kunene's purpose is to teach everyone about human rights and help organizations understand and promote human rights. Her goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs, then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. This change maker, trailblazer, and revolutionary is pushing boundaries and creating a real change worldwide. Like a phoenix that never accepted defeat and rose from its own ashes, she wants to challenge you to unleash your greatness and rise to greater heights. Dr. Rial N. Kunene wears many hats. As a professional certified sales manager, CEO, certified travel counselor, publisher, medical esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for oaths, following her dreams gave her purpose to see her goals through and understand that she does have everything she needs to reach her full potential. Her everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can accomplish your dreams. Hebrews 11, Psalms 27 and 40 keeps her to rise to greater heights. The sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Kings and queens, please join me. Welcome, Dr. Rial N. Kunene.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Amazings, because really you've kind of set the bar high. You've shared every nugget I could think of on actually overcoming what's really holding you back as an individual. I remember Michelle, she was like, why are you so frustrated? Just get unstuck. And then she shared on how to get unstuck. And then Blue, on the other side, she shared with us the fears that can actually hold us back and how we can overcome all those fears. And Alicia, oh my goodness, she mentioned that your relationship with yourself is just the most important relationship ever. You have to start building a relationship with yourself before you go out there and start building relationship with others. And then Diana, on the other side, she said that we need to break shame through vulnerability and take courage in Christ to launch. And then Jessica, she closed up by saying, she shared about the power of faith, which is the formula for spiritual growth. So I'm like, what's really holding you back now? What's holding you back after all these amazing speakers have shared all the nuggets that you can actually overcome your fears, overcome your procrastination, overcome your distraction? What's holding you back? So what's holding you back, good people? Can you just put in the chat box so that we can understand what's really holding you back from even taking the right baby steps in the right direction? What's holding you back? Is it fear? Is it procrastination? Is it distraction? Or is it mediocrity? What's holding you back? Because there are many reasons why people don't reach to their dreams, and you must understand the issues that keep you away from achieving your potential success. So it's good to know what's really holding you back, what's keeping you away from your dreams, as you can try to change the way that you approach them. What's holding you back from actually going confident in the direction of your dreams? Kings and queens, it's so essential to assess your goals' progress. Once you identify the reasons why you are being held back from actually reaching your goals, then you can try and work on it and improve. Because people, they don't devote to their visions, and they actually delay the fulfillment of their ideas, which could probably be keeping them back from achieving their dreams. So the good thing is that you can actually conquer all the motives if you recognize them. So I'm glad being here, good people, being here, it shows that you are not willing to settle for that mediocre life. So don't let anyone stand in your way to achieve your dreams. You really don't have to see the whole staircase in life to get to the top, but you need to take the first step to get to the top. As my mentor always say, that you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to become great in life. So get started today. All these amazing speakers have shared all the information that you need to know in order for you to get started today, because many people, they actually know what their passion is, but they are frustrated by the process of trying to turn their passion into profits. Whether you are running your own company, maybe you're planning to start a business, or maybe seeking that next promotion or job, you'll have to ask yourself this question to help you in order for you to kind of increase the financial rewards of doing what you love. So ask yourself this question: what difference am I passionate about making in others' lives? What difference am I passionate about in making other people's lives? Notice I didn't ask, what are you passionate about? But instead I was like, I want you to determine the purpose of your passion, which is using it to positively impact the world. Because if it's a passion, it should impact someone's life out there. That the type of drive attracts opportunities that often lead to raises, job offers, as well as like new businesses, because you just want to impact someone's life out there. So to turn your passion into profit, you must fulfill a purpose that others need or even want. Unfortunately, many people these days, or even companies, they aren't particularly concerned with whether you get to pursue your passion. All they do is that they spend money on people, money on products and services that actually fulfill their own needs and desires, but not focusing about the person that they are trying to impact out there. So when you focus on your passion, then you'll have to find a way to allow your passion to impact others. So in that way, trust me, you have a winning formula. So it's a wake-up call, good people. It's a wake-up call to kind of discover what's holding you back. How can I turn my passion into a career? How can I turn my passion into a profit? So let me ask you a question. Are you passionate about something? Are you really, really passionate about something? Are you always daydreaming about what it would be like to turn your passion into a successful business? If so, trust me, you are not alone. A lot of people dream about creating their own businesses, but they never take the plunge. Why? I'm glad you've asked that, because they might be afraid of failure, or maybe they are unsure if their idea is viable enough. So don't ever fret, because what I'm going to do today, I'll provide you with the 10 secrets that I've actually used to turn my passion into profit. So if you follow the system I've used in order for me to build my income generating business, doing what I love and making a real impact out there, trust me, you'll be on your way to success. So if you can please write it down. Write it down. So here are the ways to go from the passion to profit in no time. Point number one, if you can write it down, you'll have to dream big, but start small. Yes, I've said it, dream big, but start small. You know, in the early days of launching your company, you are still like in the learning stages. So you need to first test the waters first and make sure whatever you do is scalable. So dream big, but start small. Point number two, you'll have to write about your interest. Write about your interest. You know, one of the simplest way to go from doing something you love to profiting from it is to write it down. So write a book if you can. Write about your ideas, your interest, and then guess what? It will manifest. It will manifest because you've already put your concentration in there. Your mindset is already in there. So write about it. Point number three, you'll have to become an expert speaker. You'll have to become an expert speaker. This is another way of turning passion into profit by becoming a public speaker. I'm just giving you the points because in the interest of time, we'll have to get these points. I have 10 points that we'll have to cover today, and then we will take it from there next week. Point number four, you also have to create a product. You'll have to create a product. In order for you to turn your passion into profit, you can also create a product, as well as create a community, because community building is another excellent way to profit from your passion. Really, if you build a community, then your community will know about what you're doing. Point number 6, you'll have to become a coach or a consultant. Yes, I've said it, become a coach or a consultant. All of these amazing speakers here, they are coaches, they are consultants. If you're wondering how to actually monetize your passion and love being a leader and helping others out there, consider becoming a coach or a consultant on the subject that speaks into your heart, on the subject that you are passionate about. And then point number 7, you'll have to start making YouTube videos. And many people, they are asking themselves, how can I be in front of the camera? I'm shy, I'm camera shy. You know, thanks to the internet, because turning passion into profit is a lot easier today than it was like 30 years ago, maybe like before we were even born. So if you can, please just go on YouTube, create that YouTube channel and start, you know, posting videos out there. Point number 8, you'll have to create a course. Yes, create a course. Creating a course, it's now easier, and it's so easier than it was. Same with creating videos. So go out there and create a course on something that you're passionate about. And point number 9, which is my always favorite, and this is what I'm doing, I believe, like on a daily basis: network, network, and network. And we are here, we're gonna network too. So believe it or not, but networking can be a great way to profit from your interest. It can be a perfect way to profit from your interest. And point number 10, host an event, host a webinar like this. You could also consider hosting an event around whichever topic that you're interested in speaking about, because that's another best way of turning your passion into profit. So if you want to learn more about how you can actually get started as a speaker, as a coach, as an author, as a consultant, as a podcast host, really, you can just visit my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. And by the way, I offer training in everything that I've mentioned here today. As flight attendants always say, that put on your oxygen mask first before you assist others, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down. When the flight goes down, you will definitely go down. So it's high time, put that oxygen mask first on yourself first before you go out there and help the next person who sits next to you. Because the reality is, your journey to be a better person starts with you. It starts with you. It doesn't start with your neighbor. It doesn't start with your spouse. It doesn't start with your friend. It starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. So don't ever give up on your heart's desires. Just recall this, just in case you can't find a way. You can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. You know, I am a firm believer of affirmation. So we're going to affirm this. We're going to affirm this as if you have faith in your own powerful voice. And guess what? It will echo throughout the whole universe. So let's affirm it by placing your left hand on your chest and raising your right hand. Left hand on your chest and raising your right hand. And we're going to affirm this, that I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Can you say it one more time? I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Yes, you can have the drive within you to become what you really want to be in life. Just give yourself a round of applause, because the drive is inside of you, not outside of you. You can have the drive within you to get where you want to be in 5 years, in 6 months. It's inside of you. You know, it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful name, Nompumelelo. I know many, when they try to say my name, and I've actually stopped using my long first name. Now I go by my middle name, Riel. But Nompumelelo, in my in my own language, it means mother of all success. So you can see that I am really challenged to chase after success. No matter what comes my way, I'll have to chase after success. So if I may ask you, how many of you have dreams and goals that you want to achieve? Maybe, let me say, in the next 6 months. I know myself, I am one of those. I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals in order for you to gain guidance on professional development. So as a coach or as a mentor, like many of us here, my goal is so simple. My goal is to study your current situation, identify limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you might be facing, and then design a plan of inspired actions to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. I so wish that you can tell yourself that, you know what, I've had it all. So now I'll have to go out there and be the change that I want to see in this world, make a difference. But in order for you to go out there and be the change and make a difference in your community, in your family, to those who look at you as an inspiration, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like a hungry lion in the jungle. Really, that hungry lion in the jungle, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. And it's so funny because even now with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I am a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see a lion, I'll have to run. I believe that's the lion mindset that we need in order for us to overcome every obstacle, to overcome whatsoever is holding us back from actually going confident in the direction of our dreams. You know, it's so funny because when I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. Really, that English teacher, she didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. And it also aligns with my destiny because for those of you who don't know the phoenix bird, by the way, the phoenix is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you, if you're watching and listening under my voice today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability that you can always rise from your own ashes, since the phoenix has to die, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. I know you've heard this before, that your setback is your setup for your comeback. Your setback is your setup for your comeback. So if I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals you've set for the next 6 months. I don't know what dreams you have for your own future, but here's one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that with God, we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea, it will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what visions, what goals, what skills, what talents, and what books will die with you? And the late Dr. Miles Monroe continued saying that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the goals, all the visions, all the skills, all the talents have been buried. Honestly, I don't know about you, but with me really listening to all these amazing messages, it just gave me sleepless nights. And I remember very well when I first started journaling my first book, now I have 10, because I told myself that, you know what, it's now or never. Let me understand that I have everything around me to reach my full potential. So this year, I'm also determined to also rise to greater heights with as many motivated individuals who are ready to scale their businesses within 90 days. Yes, you can do that. Within 90 days, you can start and scale your business. So what I do, I offer a free, no obligation, 30 minutes friendly Zoom consultation call, which will allow me to find out more about the issues that you are experiencing. And we can also discuss any questions or any concerns. So if you are interested in becoming a public speaker, author, coach, entrepreneur who wants to multiply your income by just doing what you really love. You can work anywhere in the world. Trust me, you can just work anywhere in the comfort of your home out there. You could just work anywhere. So book that call with me because I really want to empower. I just want to empower you to become highly effective and an inspiring leader with a kind of personalized, measurable, and a scalable program. And go out there and book that call because you know what? I decided to do this because I remember myself when I got started 6-7 years ago. Really, I was kind of lost in the hustle. I was completely lost in the hustle. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. I remember I had like tons of ideas, but there was no tried and true strategy that will run with my ideas. So it was only when like I decided like let me invest in coaching. Let me invest in coaching. That was when I built my income generating business, doing what I truly love and making a real impact out there. So if you are that individual, that motivated individual who just want to see results, go out there and book that call with me because I believe that it's high time we pay it forward. It's high time we pay it forward because growing up, I didn't have much in life, because my father decided to have an early departure from this planet Earth. And I thank God that I missed that flight because I'm still here. I'm still sharing my message because I had everything because of my mama's love. So go out there and book that call with me, www.risetogreaterheights.com, because I believe that the sky is no longer the limit, but now the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you so much, amazing speakers. I apologize for going above the allocated time. I really apologize, but I believe that the amazing audience, they really had to hear what we shared today. So thank you so much to all our amazing speakers. So at this moment, please feel free to share with the audience your final thoughts on how they can actually overcome what's holding them back. And then if we have any questions, I'm gonna go and check if there are any posted questions, and I'll come and share with you, and we will take it from there. So Coach MJ, the stage is yours, and remember to share with the audience how they can reach out to you. The stage is yours, Coach MJ.
Okay, great. This has just been an awesome time together, and God has been dropping amazing nuggets. And it is really about, it's your time to shine. And so wherever you are in your journey in life, wherever, if you feel like you've been hidden under the dirt, like a diamond in the dirt. And one of my mentors for years, Dr. Miles Monroe, said again, the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. And you don't want to go to the grave with regret because of fear or shame or anger, whether you're a pastor, a leader, a multimillionaire business entrepreneur already. God has a next level for you. He has a next level. And so it's my passion to help you communicate your story, where you're at, to get it out and inspire somebody else that you can do it because God did it for me. So we can help you get started with, put together your message, get clear with the story, what God has delivered and done in you, so that you can help others walk through that journey. So whether it's through a nonprofit like I did for over 20 some odd years, whether it's through books, movies, or media, any form of media, that's my whole thing, is to help women get that message out, that you're bringing glory to God, but most of all, you're inspiring those behind you that you can do it too. God is faithful. So go to mygemgift.com. You'll learn more there. We can connect. And again, because you're a part of this time together today, we're also going to put in a bonus called Detox Your Soul, powerful tool that women have used around the globe to take them to their next level in the Lord, in their business, their ministry, their nonprofit, their finances. So it's been a joy and an honor. But yeah, click mygemgift.com. We'll connect. And for those who do want to go deeper, there's an option to click and we can talk to help you put all those pieces together. You're unique, you're distinct, you are God's exclusive masterpiece, a gem. God bless you.
Wow, go out there, good people, and reach out to Coach MJ, because like she's saying, we are God's exclusive masterpiece. Yes,
Exclusive,
God's
one of a kind. You've never
Yeah.
existed, will never exist again. There's only one you for such a time as this. It's time to shine.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach MJ. I believe our audience will reach out to you and get that freebie that you offer them, because they need someone who will just hold them accountable for their actions. So thank you, thank you. You can go ahead, Blue, and share with the audience how they can reach out, your final thoughts, and yes.
Well, one thing I would say that I think is very important is that the human thoughts have the tendency to transform themselves into their physical equivalent, which means what you are thinking is going to be physical for you at some point. So it's really important not to let the circumstances define you, because circumstances is only feedback from what has been. It's old story, it's old news. And also don't use too much time on the news, on the TV, because it's meant to scare you. So if you want to have a life where you have more power and you have more courage, turn down all the fears around you. And what I was talking about with going to have the trees to give you more calm, what is very important is that when you get scared, we all do at some point, because we have to. When you get scared, get calm and relaxed, and don't just react to what happens. Take a breath and respond so that you decide what happens. That's the last thing I will. And get a trigger that helps you get into that state of mind where you are in charge. And you can get in touch with me with stickgenie.com, as you can see here behind me. And I put in my contact information on the Facebook too.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Blue. I believe our audience, they will really reach out to you, more especially on the mindset. I love everything that you do around mindset. So I believe that they will reach out to you and be in touch with you. And yes, thank you so much for a profound, much needed message. You can go ahead, Alicia, and share with the audience, please.
Yeah, so I guess the final thought that I have is it seems probably pretty unproductive to really slow down and do the mindset work, or do the work of working on your relationship to yourself, right? We live in a society, in a world that is all about taking action and getting out there and doing things. But really the fastest way to cultivate and create the life that you want to be living is by starting from within. So that was something that Blue had touched on in her presentation. It really is taking the time to slow down, and some of these things that feel really unproductive, feel like you're not out there doing things, to speed yourself up. So one of the fastest ways that you can really start to create the goals, bring those into reality, create the life that you want to be living, is by spending time doing the mindset work, doing the work on healing your relationship to yourself, really giving some thought to the purpose or the calling that you feel like you have, or the passions that have been placed in your heart, like Dr. Rial was talking about, and really thinking, like, who do I need to become? Who do I need to be? How do I need to be showing up in my life in order to be the person that makes these things happen? So that is kind of my final thought there. If you are a woman and you have struggled off and on, or maybe just on throughout your life with food, with your body, with the scale, and you see how much that is really taking from your life, how much that's robbing you from living the life and being the woman that you want to be, you're ready to break up with dieting forever and really find that balance, create that balance between taking care of your family and yourself, I would love to invite you to hop on a free call where we can just kind of explore what's going on for you and really decide if working with me to cultivate that life of balance and ease around food is something that you want. You can email Alicia at aliciacarlson.com or just head to aliciacarlson.com. And if you're looking for a podcast in this particular area, I do host my own show, The Strong Her Way, and that podcast is available on all of your favorite streaming platforms. So please check that out as well as a free resource.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alicia. I believe our audience, they will definitely reach out to you, and we might have a round two of a table like this to your podcast. I'm just saying. Thank you. Thank you so much, Alicia. You can go ahead, Jessica, and share with the audience your final thoughts and how they can reach out to you, please.
Yes, thank you so much again just for giving me this opportunity, Dr. Kanini. It's been a joy, even just listening to everyone else. My final thoughts are really just to remind whoever has been listening to this that you can dream big and that you can think big and then dream even bigger. It doesn't matter the circumstance or where you're at today. I want to remind you that every single thing that you have inside of you that you've been thinking about sharing with the world, it's there because God gave it to you. That's why it won't go away. So if you want an opportunity to just really have someone guide you through what that can look like and really help you get clear, on what your divine purpose is, I want you to book that breakthrough purpose call with me. I did post a link. I'll make sure to share it on the other pages to make sure that it's there in the right places. You can also find me right on Facebook. Just search my name, Jessica Seidu, last name Seidu, and I'll be happy to walk through that with you so that you can really live out your calling and your purpose and leave this world empty with nothing left unsaid, nothing left undone. And that's it. God bless you.
Wow, I just want to die empty. Wow. Thank you so much, Jessica. I believe our audience, they will definitely reach out to you to, for you to hold them accountable, really. They need someone, a partner along the way to hold them accountable. So thank you so much, our amazing speakers, for a time like this, where you just poured all of your wisdom, your knowledge with our audience. We really appreciate you. We don't take this time for granted to be on this platform with us today, just to spare that more than 90 minutes now, almost an hour and almost 2 hours, just to be with us here. We don't take it for granted. So thank you so much. So to our audience online, thank you so much for joining us here at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I hope from all these messages, from all these amazing speakers, really you've been inspired, you've been motivated, and you are ready to rise to greater heights. So do join us next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody set the lack of flames. Living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as